Welcome to the Krystal Effect. I'm your host, Krystal Appleby, and I'm here to share honest, wild truths I've learned through being a practitioner for myself and others on this crazy journey of life, career, and relating. I'm not crazier, braver, bolder, or more experienced than others. Rather, I do believe I'm here to share with a deeper level of honesty than most. It's just who I am. Superficiality and mediocrity are pure boredom here, and I do believe the deepest truths and depths of our soul will set us and others free. With an allergy to anything withheld in connection and conversation, we're going to dive right into any limits or lies we tell ourselves, pierced through the mediocrity or fears of diving deep into the truth. I hope to give you an opportunity to reactivate your knowing and zeal for living, rather than to be triggered, squander life and joy, and shrink away out of my energy field. But as always, choice is yours. Let's dive in. Welcome to episode 5 of the Krystal Effect. I'm back after a much needed, required, not sure what that was about, break and transition in my life, as I feel I'm always talking about going through, but that really is life. What I want to talk about today is rolling through what you're going through. How do we learn to dance with the tower moments in our life instead of amplifying the friction, frustration, fear, or desire to force that naturally comes up within us when we are being called into these tower moments where things must simply break down to break through? So I know that's cliche, but I know that we've all been through these moments. And I know that this time, astrologically, however you want to look at it, is calling a lot of us into these moments, into these spaces, in our career, in whatever we're going through. We are being called to, many of us, shift drastically. So I've been speaking with many clients, many people within my school community about this friction and this what's coming up for them. People that aren't typically feeling frustration, that, don't typically go to anger or typically have had these harmonious relationships within their life. All of a sudden, it's like the drop of a hat, partner leaves them, getting laid off, or talks of getting laid off. I have like 4 people close to me in my field right now that are either just waiting for the hammer to drop or overnight lost their jobs and are in total shock. So I share this because you're not alone. And I'm going through it too. But as I sit and reflect on the last year, I believe there is some key things that I've done to prepare me for these moments. And don't get me wrong, I haven't had this kind of tower moment. I haven't had this come. And I'm almost like sitting on the edge. A part of me is like sitting up at night being, waiting and just like reading into the fear and like feeling the fear of like, oh, when's my tower moment? What's going to crash? What's happening? I better be careful here. I better save more money. I better do this because like shit's going to hit the fan. You know it. It's the year of the dragon. This is going on with the stars. It's time to like buckle down and be really cautious, right? Now, here's where I've really changed the narrative over the years. So if you know me, you know how much I bought into energetic spirituality, and I still do. I still have a strong foundation within these things, but I had to learn them almost from this shadow side and from this fear basis to really step in and own this part of me and own with certainty what the purpose of these aspects of our lives are here for, what the foundation, what your spirituality, your religion, what all of this is actually here to support you with. And it's these moments, right? So I always go back to tarot, and it's like not to like hop into the tarot and, tell our future or anything like that, because I don't buy into that or believe that. But I think most of us, when we have an introduction into that world, or whether it's the energetics or yoga or whatever, right? Whatever it is that you find, typically when we begin and like have this aha moment and like see the other side, see the light, we kind of go all in and think that that's the thing. We think that it has all the answers. We think that, we've cracked the code and have this secret thing that's going to now make us a millionaire or make us so much happier or get us a partner, or get us the job, or get us whatever we're seeking in our life, right? And then we move forward and move through this process and usually hire a mentor or buy a course or do something that we think is going to be this magical thing. And it's exactly what's needed, but it's actually the thing that breaks down our belief system around that. The thing that makes us question, like, this seems a little, whether it's like culty or questionable or out of touch with reality or whatever it does to us, right? It's the person and the thing that's needed at that time. But it also is a thing that kind of shatters our belief system and makes us rebuild a foundation from the beginning. So as I was saying, I always come back to tarot because the major arcana is this beautiful cycle of life. You start as the Fool, you move through to the Magician, and then you step through this 21 phases where you end at the World. And it's like you have everything you want. It's this beautiful energy, right? But it's always this cautionary of like, it's time to become the Fool again. And that's our life on repeat. I remember when I started living and being aware of these patterns, and I'm like, oh, I'm at this stage. I'm at the tower. That means that all the good's coming, right? But the thing is that we're constantly in season. So instead of being in the tower moment and fighting it and being like, fuck, I will suck it up and like live through this and survive so that I can get to the next phase. Okay. Well, you still have to go through the death card. You still have to go through this other energy. So instead of going through it, which I've been not a victim of, but I have been that person for so many years, I believe this season is calling us into being empowered in every stage, being present in every stage, sitting and knowing ourselves in every stage. Everybody that I've been talking to that's been going through a massive shift in the last month or so, as much as like my heart goes out to them, I've been in those moments and they fucking suck. But they all either had the moment or other people were pushing them to be like, hey, 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 you have to listen to yourself. The voice is getting really loud, like, hey, 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 hello, we're trying to help you over here. It's time to step into something new. And then the logic, the mind has come in and been like, here's the reasons to stay. Here's the reasons to not make change. Here's the reason I signed this, whether it's like a marriage contract, a work contract, whatever, this commitment, I can't just back out on that. That's what I'm here for. But something deeper in their heart was long screaming. The external world was long screaming. So I see that as this junction of the tower moment in our lives. And we come to it time and time and time again. Because as soon as we evolve and understand and learn the game that we're playing, we evolve into the next level. And then we become the fool in this new level, right? And then we have to like kind of rung up that ladder in that level. And then it's like Super Mario. It's like, okay, on to the next, right? So how are we mastering this game? How are we mastering each piece, each card in the 21 cycles of the tarot? Or, you can go to the seasons, you can go to your moon cycle, you can go however you look at cycles in your life. How are you mastering each one, each single one? And I mean you, how are you going inside? How are you sitting with yourself? And how are you building that library of self-trust, of belief, of, kicking out those victim pieces that want to come in of like, I can't believe that this happened to me, or, like there is no time for that in this season. If you really want to take the medicine out of it, it's an opportunity for you to blow shit up real quick. It's an opportunity for you to have this blank slate where there's no clutter, there's no muddiness, there's no nothing. You can blow shit up and grow real quick in this season of your life, but it requires some radical, radical, radical moves. It requires radical trust and it requires radical self-belief that is in you, or you wouldn't be in this moment in your life, but it's calling that piece out of you, right? Because when we enter a tower moment, it's typically that we have ignored or shut down or turned the volume down on all the voices that have been screaming at us. So now it's time to allow those voices to come back up, turn the volume up and listen to them and what they were here to teach us so that we don't have to take another cycle to come back here. So that we're actually just like sitting in this moment, being present in this tower moment that life is giving us, harnessing all the power that led up to this tower moment. And maybe we didn't act on it. Maybe we turned the volume down. Maybe we ignored. Maybe we put our partner ahead of our own needs because we thought they needed us and it was doing them a favor. And now we're realizing, shit, okay, I wasn't listening. I wasn't honoring myself. And by honoring myself, I know that everything that I'm attached to, every piece of network in my field has the greatest potential as long as I stay in my center and do what's needed for me, do what's being called and asked of me from a place of love. Once that happens and we sit in that tower moment and we own all of that and we just like let that energy swirl around as shit's falling down, as the dumpster fires are happening, as the ramifications of the lightning storm or the thunderstorm and the lightning are happening and we're cleaning up and observing the aftermath. It's like, oh yeah, I saw that. Oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't have had, been out in the rain with my golf club or whatever it is. Like, oh yeah, okay, I can see all of this. Now, are you taking ownership for all of it? And once we start to take ownership for all of it, then we don't have to go through steps. I can't remember the number of the tower card. Anyways, we don't have to go through the rest of those 21 steps and come back to the tower to then thrive again. 15? So now we're just sitting in the space saying, I'm pausing, being with this moment, being with all this coming up in my body, being with all of it as like the old constructs are shaking down. As you're having the external tower moment, you're having the internal tower moment. Your ego is dying. All of these things are happening, right? They must shed for us to actually stand true in ourselves and be like, this is opportunity. I know this is opportunity and I will feel all of this shit that's coming up in me in the meantime. And then we wait and we sit in the stillness that we don't really want to sit in. We get really clear and let life like disintegrate what's not needed and just sit there without projecting out, without any of it. And then one day, and this is so reflective to my winter, you wake up and it's like, it's time to move. Okay, it's time to take action. from this new space of clarity. We're not like bringing the stuff that's led up to this tower with us anymore. It's like new cycle by simply having to take one little step. And it's like, I will build this foundation from the most pristine, clean, clear energy possible. And this is what I went through this winter. I know it's time to let go of X, Y, and Z. Of course, Reese is deciding that it's not nap time anymore. So now that it's time to let go of X, Y, and Z, it doesn't mean that I'm making a sidestep here and redoing it in this way, like me going and treating in a new community, kind of a sidestep, right? To like the outside eye, making less money, da 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 da. What am I doing? But the heart wants it. So the heart's asking for it, but I'm not going to get in the logical mind and now say, how much money can I make? How can I do this in this way? How do I optimize? No, what does the heart want? It wants a new beginning. We're going to treat 2 people a day, maybe 2-3 days a week to fill our soul, to do it in a different way, and to honor this new way that we're being called into doing things of actual satisfaction. And then on the side, when that's not happening, I'm going to record a podcast 1 day a week. I'm going to write my newsletter that filled my cup. I'm going to go out and be in nature with my dog that's calling me to go be out in nature with her. And I'm going to make things simpler than they've ever been. And I'm going to trust, even if the same amount of money is not flowing into me, I know that the money is just a byproduct. I know that I'm supported. I trust deeply in this chapter that I'm fucking supported. But if I go this other direction and I start to make it happen and get into that old energy of do, well, I'll just get there until my income's this number, this place that it was, so I have this tangible thing, then I'll leap. You're going to have another fucking tower moment. You're going to have another like axe dropping. You don't want that. So it's time to clean your shit up. Use this season in your life, wherever you're at. Maybe you're not in a tower moment. This is just where I'm seeing a lot of people. To clean it up. Let the sediment settle. Let all of those old beliefs, let the stuff that really hurts. Like I've just been cleaning and being like, why is this still here? Why am I still hurt about this? Why is my heart still upset about this? And like really diving underneath there. That's building your foundation. That's the clean, crisp, new beginning that you've actually been asking for. And how beautiful that the universe won't let you like settle anymore. It's not going to let you just sit and wilt any longer. You don't get 1 more month. You don't get 2 more weeks. It's go time now. So I'm going to wrap it up there because Reese demand I do. But remember, in this season of your life, it's likely a time to pause so that you can start to actually build momentum that's not fueled or riddled with this frequency of fear, of must do to be worthy, of frustration, of friction, of I'm not made for more. I can't do what other people are doing. Like all of that, you have to sit until that's like settled and out of your mind and not going to run the show. It's time to build a new foundation now so that when you move on from this tower moment, when you started to really heal and like understand and let everything fall away so you could be like, shit, this is who I am. This is what I'm here for. This is what I've always been here for. And I've been playing small with myself. Now you're building something beautiful. You're going to build it 10 times as fast, even though your mind doesn't believe that yet. You're going to build something that lights you up and fuels you. So you're going to keep building it faster and faster and faster. And yes, you're going to make more money, but you don't get to decide when you make more money and create more abundance because the process is you becoming. So you have to become over and over along this process to actually receive that, to be a match for that. Because right now you probably don't believe it. Your heart's probably been crushed a little. Your ego's probably been crushed a little. So it's time to sit, pause, become. Don't pick up your phone. Don't reach for all the dopamine hits in this phase because it's an embodied moment. It's not something that you can just go through the motions of sitting on the couch, watching TV, getting over it, and creating, like writing down a business plan. It's about embodying and becoming the person that's required to make intentional, bold, beautiful, clean moves with the support and momentum of the universe behind you, of whatever, God, whatever you believe is moving behind you to make this shit happen. I send you love in this tower moment of your life. I apologize to Reese for not paying attention to her. And I hope that you take this season and see it as this soil beneath you being totally refertilized. Some of the most beautiful things grow after fires. The most fertile ground comes after these moments when it feels like everything's falling apart. And this winter was that for me. The last year of my life was that for me. And this is the first tower moment of my life that I can stand and sit in and say, hey, clean shit up now from experience. And these tower moments start to become really beautiful. You start to see, even while you're in it, before you can react in them and have your day of like, ooh, not really proud of how I acted, you're actually already in it, embodied and acting how you wanted future you to. You're acting how you wanted to show up so that you could receive the next level. It's coming. And for now, Reese and I are going to sit on the mountaintop and receive. So remember that stillness is such a big part of this process. And I'm here for support if you want it. in the next couple of weeks, I'll be rolling out and receiving one more person for private mentorship one-on-one and a group of 3 to 4 in a little cohort of really just stepping into this next part of your life, of your career, of becoming your own empowered practitioner, whether you're a practitioner or not, so that you can step into the next role of the business or the career that you desire. Have a beautiful day. As always, choice is yours. I love you all, beautiful souls. Thanks for joining us today. That is it. Be courageous, be bold, let anyone down but yourself along the way as you confidently activate or trigger the correct players in your pinball game. And with an open and defined heart, I encourage you to go forward with curiosity and create the depth and satisfaction in the entirety of your life, the entirety of your career, the entirety of the relationships that your soul came here craving, seeking, destined to create. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd love it if you left a review below. You can reach me at thekrystaleffect.com or on Instagram, the.krystal.effect. We'll leave that below.